soon. Welcome. It's me, Miles44, and I'm back with another Cardfight Vanguard Career Online deck profile. Today's deck profile, we have the Emperor who rules the seas. Ice Priest in Hades Emperor, Cocytus Reverse. So yeah, with the release of Booster Set 13, BT13, we have some more Granblue support, and Granblues are now very good again. I don't think they're top tier, but they're really good. Like, really good. I know BT14 came out, but there's still some decks of BT13 I gotta do. So, anywho, why don't we jump into it? So, our starter will be Peter the Ghostie. Now, I know a lot of people prefer Captain Nightkid as the starters, and like when Granblue used to be really good and stuff. But the reason you play Peter the Ghostie is he's like a tutor that helps to your drop zone. Captain Nightkid is better for the decks that need specific cards in the drop zone. So, because Captain Nightkid's Counterblast 1, put it in the soul, check top 10, put 1 in the drop zone. But Peter the Ghostie helps out in a better way with this deck, because with this deck, all you want to do is just dump piles and piles and piles of cards in the drop zone, so you deck out fast. So it's a very rush down deck. You try to rush your opponent down. So what it does is Counterblast 1, put 2 cards from the top of your deck in your drop zone, and put this card in your soul. If you have a Granblue Vanguard, you draw a card. So he's a tutor that helps you out a little more because he's for Granblues. Because he just, move into soul, draw, but you get 2 cards in the drop zone, which is huge for Granblues, and it just helps pile up your drop zone. I tried Captain Nightkid, but I really did prefer this. A lot of, even my friend who used to main Granblues prefers this too, just because of how the deck plays. Alright, so let's move on to grade 3s. We have 4 Ice Priest in Hades Emperor, Cocytus Reverse. So, if you don't know what he does, Limit Break 4, put the top 3 cards on your deck into your drop zone, and then choose one of your Granblue rearguards and lock it. And then you choose one Granblue from your drop zone and call it to a rearguard circle, and it gets power plus 3000 until end of turn. So it's really handy. It just sorry. And then its other skill is if the original Ice Person Necromancer Cocytus is in your soul, it's 13k. But it's a very beat down deck, so I don't really run Cocytus, the original, because the Breakride's a lot better. So yeah, it's dropping the top 3 cards from your deck every time you limit break. And there's no cost as well, so you can just repeatedly do it and Superior Call something. Just get something else to intercept, and then just keep on Superior Calling for the drop zone. You get it to intercept, and then get it back next turn, right? But you'd really do deck out fast if you do something like that. I tried to do it. It didn't turn out well. But it's a great pressure card, and it's just a really good deck. Really amazing reverse card. Shows what Granblue can do. Anyways, so we have 4 Lord of the Seven Seas Nightmist. So I'll explain how Cocytus Reverse and Nightmist work really well together. So what Nightmist does, if you don't know, it's Limit Break 4. When a Granblue rides it, you choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets 10,000 power, and then you choose 2 Granblues from your drop zone, call them to rearguard, and they get power plus 5,000, and then at the end of the turn, you have to retire them. There's no way you'll have 3 cards in the drop zone, but those are the only ones I'm going to use. So basically what you want to do is when it's your turn, you want to Breakride, 10,000 power, and then you want to Superior Call, let's see, Romario, and I guess Corrupt Dragon. Then what you want to do is, I actually said this over to myself when I was trying to show you guys, and I realized there really is only one way that you can do it that'll make it most effective. And it's, I know Romario gets 5,000 extra power, but if you lock him, that means he doesn't get retired, and you get a plus. And then, use Spirit Call Blueblood with 13k, get Romario, or maybe it's a Nightmist or something, and it's 14. So it attacks for like 22, 21. This is 21. But it makes this 17. This is 21. This is 27, right? And all that happens is Corrupt Dragon dies. And then that's it. Your field is loaded. And Corrupt Dragon dies after all of that. So it gives you yourself a plus. It doesn't really make a difference that you locked Romario, because that means the other column gets the power. And yeah, it's 3,000, not 5,000. But another thing is, I remembered why the grade 2s are so important. This is later on. I actually did this after, but another reason why the grade 2s are more important is because of the fact that, are so important that they hit for, solid numbers. Like Corrupt Dragon hits for 12 when it's Spirit Called. This hits for 10. Rune Shade hits for 11. And then you have your grade 3s that hit for high numbers. But why that's so important is once someone gets the +3, for Romario to get the +3, or Blueblood, Blueblood to get the +3, it lets you lock one of your units that got Spirit Called by the Breakride, and it still pressures for the same amount. It's in a different column, and you keep the unit, so you plus yourself. Okay, so I explained that all. Hopefully you guys understand a little better. Anywho, so let's move on to our grade 2s. So we have 4 Commodore Blueblood. Your 10Ks, you don't really want to get rushed down too heavy. And there aren't, I don't know. In my opinion, Granblues don't have the greatest grade 2s either. They have some pretty good grade 2s, but there's nothing overly that you want. So Commodore Blueblood is just really handy. At 10k, you can't get rushed down. And, you could try to keep yourself ahead. So he's basically the one you want to ride. And then we have 4 Corrosion Dragon, Corrupt Dragon. I hope I'm saying that right, because Crayon Line has some pretty freaky names. He's the guy you want to Spirit Call from the drop zone. He's one of the 2 cards that's awesome to Spirit Call from the drop zone. You get to Spirit Call anything, but he's really, really handy. So what he does is when this unit is placed on rear guard from your drop zone, if you have a Granblue Vanguard, this unit gets +3,000 until end of turn. So he'll be a 12k attacker, and if you break road with him, that means he's 7k, and you boost him with like an 8k, and that's swinging for, you boost him with Romario, and it's swinging for 23. So it's nice pressure. It's a very good pressure for card, especially when I love repeatedly using him with Cocytus Reverse, because you Spirit Call him, his skill giving him an extra 3,000, Cocytus Reverse gives him an extra 3,000, so that's 15, and then you just boost it with Romario, and that's 23. Oh wait, that would mean, I meant to say 25 for the last one. Sorry, I said 23 twice. I'm sorry, 25 was the last one. This one's 23, what I was explaining. But anywho, he's just a really handy card for the deck, and great pressure from him. So yeah, let's move on. So we have 3 Ruin Shade. So I actually tried playing 4, and I found that 4 really hindered me, and 3 is just perfect. It's enough. You deck out way too fast in this deck if you play 4. So yeah, I think I might have missed something. Give me a second. Oh no, okay. I'm sorry. I actually thought Nightmist had something about dropping cards from the top of your deck for a second. I don't know why. Anyways, so what Ruin Shade does is when Ruin Shade attacks, you put 2 cards from the top of your deck in your drop zone, and when this unit attacks, if you have a Granblue Vanguard, it gets 2,000 power. So he attacks for 11k. There's kind of a lot of beaters in this deck, as you can tell. Just vanillas and beaters. But that's kind of how Granblue just works, and they get power off of Superior Calling from the drop zone. So, yeah, Ruin Shade is just amazing, really important. The grade 2s, really, you can't change them up. It's not going to work the same if you change them up. And Ruin Shade just helps with getting piles and piles of cards in your drop zone for Cocytus Reverse and Nightmist. I know that's why I tried playing 4 and tried playing 3 Blue Blood, but it didn't work because I decked out just way too fast. So, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to grade 1s. So we have 4 Gust Jinn RP guards. And then we have 4 Danny Guy Romario. So your 8Ks, of course, again, don't want to get rushed down too much. So if they don't have a 10K beater, they can only really hit you with their Vanguard, unless they want to call something and try for the trigger. But just amazing. The 8Ks and the 10Ks are really important in Granblue. That's just how it is because of just how they play and everything. They're just really important. He's really helpful for boosts and stuff, and just really important because of the superior calling from the drop zone. And they don't get overly too much power as well. So that's part of the thing about they're just really important. So, hitting those marks. Anyways, and then we have 4 Sea Strolling Banshee. So she came in BT13 as well, just like the Corrupt Dragon. And what she does is she's a Din Drain for the Granblue, basically. So when it's placed on rearguard from your drop zone, you Soul Blast 1, and if you have a Granblue Vanguard, you draw a card. So she gives you some good pluses. She just helps plussing yourself, getting you ahead, advantage and everything, and just really, really, really helps out. Don't play less than 4, of course, because she's just too important. She makes a good column behind anyone except for Corrupt Dragon if it's the turn after and you didn't intercept or something after you superior called from the drop zone. But that's part of the reason she works so well in this deck is because the columns swing for such nice marks that you don't have to worry about playing 4. So yeah, she's perfect. And then we have 2 Samurai Spirit. So you don't use many counterblasts. So there's no cards I really found that I needed for counterblasts anyway, which is why I play Blue Blood. If I find cards, I'll probably replace Blue Blood, but for counterblasts. But so far, there's really just nothing you want that is counterblast, and it's better just to play it like this because it just helps so your opponent doesn't rush you down and everything. But with Samurai Spirit, we only play 2 because you don't need them overly often. It's nice to have, 1 in the drop zone, and that's why you only want to play 2. Maybe make a good column, a really, really good column if they have a cross ride or something. If just anything happens, if you call grade 0 because you need a push for game and you're both getting close, you can counterblast 1 and then switch them. Everybody knows what Rune Shade does. I don't know why I explained this skill. But, counterblast 1, you retire it. If you have Granblue Vanguard, you call it, you retire one of your rear guards, and then you call this to a rear guard. So it can be a different rear guard circle as well. So this is actually really, really good for just fixing up your field too, especially because you don't use a lot of counterblast. So he's very, very handy. I'm sorry about that, guys. Just for fixing up your field on what you want, boost and stuff. That's more near the end of the game when you try to push, but it's just handy. And then for a trigger lineup, we have 4 Rough Seas Banshee, 4 Night Spirit, 4 Ghoul Cannonball, so 12 crit, and 4 Doctor Rouge. And yeah, so 12 crit, 4 heal. Very, very beat down, rush down deck. If you play draws in it, you will run out of your deck before the game even ends. Because that's just how it is. So yeah, it's an incredible deck. I never really liked Granblues, but once I played this deck, I love playing them. So that says something to someone who didn't really like Granblues before. They didn't have that great of a support, but they were still pretty good. It's just I didn't like them, and now I do because of this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know on your opinion about it, and let me know about any thoughts or anything, and what deck profile you want next. Remember to like and comment, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. The link to the deck list will be in the description below, and so will the link to my Facebook, Twitter, and Skype. And I'll see you guys next time.